Hey there, folks. It's me, Tisha, your go-to metabolic health nutritionist and host of The Sickening Truth. I know what it's like to feel like you're spinning your wheels. You've tried everything to shed that weight, kick the persistent fatigue, and clear up the brain fog, right? And now, to make matters worse, you're being told by your doc that you either have or are on your way to developing high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, heart disease, or worse. You're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. And if you hear one more time that this is just what happens as you get older, or to deal with it because it runs in the family and here's another pill, you're going to bust. You've had enough, and I get it. After years of trying to survive my own health battles, I did it. I got it right. And not just for me, but for my husband, both of my kids, and now my clients too. I took things into my own hands and created a revolutionary method I call the CARE method, where I found a way to turn the biggest problem, food, into a simplified and sustainable solution. So if you're fed up with the same old advice and you're ready to learn something new, this podcast is for you. I'm here to help you start you on your own health journey and change your health trajectory with CARE. So let's do this. Too little salt. Yeah, too little salt is a thing. And eating too little salt can create metabolic problems. But Tisha, I was just diagnosed with hypertension, and my doctor specifically told me to eat a low salt, low fat diet. Oh, and he gave me some meds too. Well, here's the deal. Salt has long been considered the bad guy, blamed for everything from high blood pressure to heart disease. For decades, our doctors and health organizations have been telling us to reduce our sodium intake with the belief that it can lower the risk of developing hypertension. Well, I've got news for you. Low salt diets are not an effective treatment for hypertension, and eating too little salt actually creates metabolic dysfunction. So, if you remember some time ago, I posted a reel on Instagram about cause. This applies to all aspects of life, not just with your health, but consider this. If salt causes high blood pressure, then removing salt from your diet would restore your blood pressure to normal, right? After all, that's what cause is. You have something that is causing something else. When the cause is removed, that something else goes away. And yet there are studies upon studies of low sodium diets actually causing metabolic dysfunction, hyperinsulinemia, and insulin resistance, which, as you know or are learning, leads to a cluster of other chronic diseases. All right, so what are you getting at, Tisha? Here's the deal. Insulin resistance causes hypertension, not salt. Reducing your salt consumption will not reduce your blood pressure. Why? Because it isn't the cause. Insulin resistance and hyperinsulinemia cause high blood pressure. So the best way to reverse your hypertension and restore your blood pressure to normal levels is to remove the foods that cause high insulin and insulin resistance. Salt is critical for our survival. I'll repeat, salt is critical for our survival. Without enough salt, our bodies are unable to maintain fluid balance, nerve function, even our muscle contractions. Low sodium can also lead to dehydration, fatigue, and muscle weakness. Heck, studies are now showing that low sodium diets are actually increasing a person's risk of heart disease and mortality. Bottom line, if you've been diagnosed with hypertension, you have insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is causing you to lose metabolic function, which in turn is causing all of these symptoms that you're struggling with, such as weight gain or the inability to lose weight, fatigue, overwhelm, brain fog, joint pain, diabetes. The list goes on and on. Medication masks or mutes symptoms. They do not restore function. If you want to maintain hypertension, increase your risk for heart disease or a heart attack, or develop diabetes, which could lead to blindness, amputations, and eventually death, then keep muting the symptoms with medication. If, however, you want to restore that lost function and live a life without chronic disease, weight gain, fatigue, or dependence on medication or supplements for life, find the root cause, remove it, and restore that lost function. And remember, if you don't make time for your health, you'll be forced to make time for your illness. And that's a wrap for today's episode of The Sickening Truth, where we cut through the overwhelm and confusion of health and nutrition noise. Remember, changing what's on your plate is a first step to flipping the script on those chronic conditions and starting to feel like yourself again. If today's episode sparked a light bulb moment, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Want to stay connected? Follow me on LinkedIn and let's continue the conversation. Until next time, take care. Remember, you have the power to change your health trajectory.